Hi, welcome to Turtle Burger Crochet. My name is Brittany. This is episode 21 of the podcast. Thank you so much for joining me. Today's episode, I don't have any fully finished objects, but I have a half finished objects and lots of works in progress. Let's just go ahead and jump in. So my half finished object is this crochet mandala. So pretty, so bright. Oh my goodness. So the mandala itself is actually done. The reason I'm calling it a half finished object is because I ordered some craft rings that I'm going to crochet around it. And I did not want to tie or cut my yarn. I just wanted to go right into the crocheting around the ring. Hopefully it will kind of, once it's doing that, it'll kind of lay flat a little bit. So I'm very excited about this. I'm hoping to use it kind of as a backdrop whenever I have to move my camera around and sit in front of a white wall. Give it a little bit more interest. Let's see. Okay. The yarn that I'm using is Red Heart Super Saver Stripes in the color Bright Stripes. And I used an H 5mm hook. These are my Clover Amours. And the pattern, I believe it's called Country Sun Catcher, maybe. It's by Rich Textures Crochet. It is a free pattern on her blog, and she also has a tutorial here on YouTube. Everything I talk about in today's episode will be linked. So that is my first, it's the half finished, but also a work in progress. I have 2 active pairs of socks going. The first one, let me get it untangled here. Well, it's still kind of tangled, but that's okay. The first one is Little Lady's Holly White sock. This is the Holly White by McKaylee Marlar of Breaking Yarn. The needle size I'm using, these are my Chalgoo Twist Shorties interchangeables in the size 2.5mm, which is a US size 1.5. The yarn I'm using is Huntington Valley yarns in the color Red Purple. I had to make some adjustments to the pattern because the pattern is actually written for adult sizes. So I cast on 48 stitches, and her cuff, I did 10 rounds of 2x2, and I did two repeats of the actual Holly White pattern. So it will be more of like an ankle sock, which will match the Holly White socks that I made for myself in the same color. I am now at the point to start the slip stitch heel flap. So I'm excited for that. Yeah, and that's really all to say about that. I'm not in any real hurry to get those done, but I am actively working on them. The next sock that I'm working on is, this is the Wish You Were Here socks by the Kitchen Sink shop. This is a free pattern on Ravelry. This is where I was last time, my little sock stitch marker by Mindful Makes. So I've gotten all this done. I did a slip stitch. Well, you know, before we get into what I did, the needle size that I'm using, per the usual, is my Chalgoo 40-inch cable, US size 2.25mm. wait, is that, so how is that a 1.5 and this is a, hold on. I'm sorry, I think I said a US size 2. This is a US size 1, 2.25 millimeter. That's why I got confused. This is a really beautiful pattern. I'm loving this lace detail. Now this is the first sock. This is kind of interesting that I'm doing that has a right and a left designated. But anyway, so that's a 2.25 millimeter needle on Magic Loop. The yarn is Huntington Valley yarns in the color mauve. And I did 4 rounds, or yeah, 4 repeats of the pattern on the leg. I am now into the foot part. I did a slip stitch heel flap and a standard turn and gusset. And I always mess up a slip stitch when I get to the purl side. Well, no, I don't really know what I did, because I know I was not slipping and purling the whole row. I know I'm pretty sure I was just purling on that wrong side, so I'm not sure what I did, but you can obviously see the difference there. And then I kind of caught myself right around here going, what am I doing? So I started it correctly, but because you can obviously see that there's a definite difference between these, so just to ensure that it fit, I did an extra row, technically 2 rows of the slip stitch heel flap. So I did, usually I do 28, so I did 29 on that one, and then of course I purled back around. And now I am just into the foot, and I don't even know how much more to go, but quite a bit before I can get to the toe decreases. And this one, I only needed 1 sock left for a square on Sock Bingo, which is from Chronicles of Yarnia. So I am hoping to get this done. It has to be turned in by September 5th, Labor Day. Is that the actual Labor Day, or is that the weekend of? Anyway, it's around that time. So I am hoping to get this finished so that I can get my 5 total. You have to have 5 total socks, and I have 2 pairs and then this single sock. And so my squares will all be filled with my Princess Cuff Shorties, which I test knit for Haxan Evers of Freeform Knits. And then the second pair of socks that got squares was my Saul Goodman socks from McKaylee Marler Breaking Yarn, and then this sock. So that will be my 5, and I will get a sock bingo. I'm very excited about that. At this point, of course I'm going to submit the photos, but it's more exciting just to finish it and know that I was able to accomplish that. The next work in progress is the Spindrift Shawl by Helen Stewart. Let me see where my marker is. This is where I was last time, and I only got 1, 2, 3, 4 rows complete on it, but that put me at approximately 40% done. I'm just a little over 200 stitches at this point. The needles I'm using are my Clover Takumi interchangeable set, a US size 6, 4 millimeter, and the yarn is so incredibly soft. This is MonarchYarn in the color Tropical Fade. So pretty, I love it. I cannot wait to finish this. I wish I could give it more attention. So that's what I'm going to try to do coming up while I'm trying to clear all my needles. So not a whole lot to say on that. I really like that pattern. I've kind of been using it as a mindless knit type of thing. Next work in progress is a new cast on. You have not seen this before. It is a test knit for Darcy of Chit Knits. She is on Ravelry, and this is her, I believe it's called Stitchmore Cowl. Let's see if I can get it to unroll here. I'm gonna put it on my favorite part. This is my absolute favorite part. I love this spine. It is really pretty. It's pretty true to color once it focuses. So the needles I'm using are also my Clover Takumi interchangeable sets, a US size 7, 4.5 millimeter. And I have these two huge balls of yarn that were so awkwardly stored that it was ridiculous. So I had cleaned out some yarn, and I thought I am never going to get those back in where I had them. So what I did was I left them out. I'm like, I need to find a project for those like immediately so that I can get rid of them. And lo and behold, just literally like a couple of days later, Darcy asked if anyone wanted to test knit for her. And it was in that weight and everything. And I was like, yes, yes, please. So the yarn I'm using, they both are Bernat Baby Sport. And the first, the lavender color is just called Lavender. And then the kind of variegated color, I guess it would be, I don't know what you call that, but it is called Tiny Tulips. And it is just, it is so fun. It's really working up quickly, and I am a slow knitter, so it is really fun with all the slip stitches. Just gives a really beautiful texture. I really like it. And Darcy says that blocking is magic with this, so I cannot wait. I think this will be, because mine, I didn't realize how it would work up together, so it's very pastel-y, and I think this will be really cozy in those early days of spring where it's still, you know, pretty cold and chilly before it gets warm. Anyway, so I'm really, really liking this. Can't wait to finish that. So there is that. My last work in progress, y'all, I can't even tell you how excited I am. It is the love note. I made so much progress. If you know, you know, but it has been a absolute slog and dread getting through this lace section. I don't know why, but it just has been. But I was actually going to film this last night. Oh no. It's okay. I was going to film this last night, but then I decided to kind of see where I was on my projects, and I looked at the love note. Okay. Be back. So I decided to look at where I was on my projects, and I noticed that on the love note, I thought I needed more repeats than what I did. I was looking at the wrong size. So I was very excited because when I realized how many I needed for my size, it's a paid pattern, so that's why I'm being kind of, you know, not telling how many repeats or anything. I realized I'm 4 away from where I need to be. And I thought, yeah, I'm doing this tonight. We're getting these 4 rows done tonight, and I am getting on with the pattern, because the rest of it is it's just stockinette, I believe, pretty much. So I was over the moon about that. So I put it on barber cord so we could kind of stretch it out and see where it is. I'm so excited. So let me, okay, this is the, hold on. Oh, okay, so this is the back. So here's the front. so excited. Oh my goodness. And what I originally wanted to wear it for is exactly 3 weeks away. So I'm hoping that I can get this done in 3 weeks. So it looks much better on the barber cord. Oh my goodness. So excited. Oh, that was not flattering angle. But here it is. Yay. So there are so many mistakes in this. I don't even care at this point. I'm going to be quite honest. I am just so excited. So next is the raglan shaping. And then I think pretty soon after that is when I get into the sleeve separation, I guess. But what I'm hoping to do is when I get to the point where I can separate for sleeves, I want to go back. I did not do the provisional cast on that it called for. I just did a regular long tail cast on. So I'm hoping at that point to go and pick up my stitches and go ahead and do the neck so that I can make sure it's fitting before I do the entire sweater and then go back and do the neck, because I would just be so upset about that. But I am so excited and motivated for this again. That was just the greatest feeling. Well, I'm not gonna say the greatest feeling last night, because obviously there's a lot more, but it was really exciting for me to realize I am 4 away from where I needed to be, and I was looking at the wrong size. So I am so excited. And I have to say, I'm getting a lot of yardage out of this yarn. So let me go ahead and do that. Talk about that. Well, the needles, these are my Clover Takumi interchangeables. In a size US 8 5mm, I believe. Let me see. Yes, US 8 5mm. The yarn I'm using is I'll find my label here. Lion Brand Kobu in the color Lichen. And I have 4 balls of yarn. Excuse me. So I've done all this plus my gauge swatches, and I still have this much left of my first ball. I haven't weighed it, but I feel like that's, really darn good. So I'm wondering if I'm even going to need all the yarn that I have. So I'm just so excited. Whoops. For this again. And of course, this always lives in my CB Crafty Girl Carla Knits bag. It's the only true project bag that I have been using, so I like to show that one. Oh my goodness, guys, that's all my works in progress that I worked on this week since the last episode. I feel like that's kind of a lot, though. I don't know. I feel productive. Now let's talk about future projects. So the only immediate future project that I'm adding to the mix here is over Labor Day weekend. So September 2nd through the 5th. It's a long weekend here in the US. Carla from Carla Knits podcast is having just an informal, fun, it's okay, I'll be right there, a hat knit along. And she is making the Linden hat from Do So Knits, who has a podcast here on YouTube, and it's a free pattern on Ravelry. And I thought, well, I like that hat. I want to make a hat. So I picked out that particular pattern calls for DK weight. So I went and got all my DK weight, and I couldn't decide if I was going to make a hat for myself, my daughter, or just to have, like, either as a gift or put in the Etsy shop or something, because I want to get that going up again. And so I couldn't decide what to do, but then I decided I crocheted myself a cable hat several years ago, and I'll be honest, I don't know where it is at this point. But so I was like, I kind of need a new hat. Okay, just a minute, okay? I need a new hat, and this particular hat has cables, so I am going to use this yarn. This was a gift from my friend Leslie. This is Alta Truth in the color Purple Plum. It is a DK weight. It is 80% merino wool and 20% baby alpaca. And it is a very dark purple, really lovely. And so that is going to be my next cast on. Of course, I have lots of other future projects, but this one's going to be the immediate next cast on. Anyway, I hope you all have a fabulous weekend, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.